Coming to Serbia, many ask, what are my options for setting up a business? Now, many people have reasons why they want to set up a business. This could be one because of the tax regulations and the lower tax brackets and the tax that are paid on businesses here in Serbia. Some of them are seeking residency, temporary, permanent, and then eventually leading into citizenship. And so today we're going to talk about the various options that you have coming into Serbia, which ones might be right for you, and why you would want to set up a corporation or an entrepreneur business, which is also known as a self-employed business here in Serbia. So coming into Serbia, many people will be setting up a business simply because they want their temporary residency. Now, depending on what type of business you're looking to set up, that's going to decide if you're going to be going into a sole proprietorship, also known as a entrepreneur here in Serbia, or you might want to set up a LLC, which many of the Westerners would understand, but what we call them here in Serbia is a d.o.o. or a d.o.o. These are two different entities and two different variations of business setups and business structures. And, depending on what type of business you are wanting to set up, how big you're planning on growing your business, one might seem a little bit better than the other. Now, one thing that is great, and especially me that comes from Canada, is that the tax brackets here that you pay on businesses is substantially lower than what they are in Canada, for instance, where I come from. Now, in Canada, when I had my LLC there, I was paying anywhere between 20 and 35% on my gross profits that I was making. And where here in Serbia, they range anywhere between 10 to 15% on your gross profits, which is a substantial percentage compared to what you would experience in many other Western countries, specifically Canada. Now, the one that many people like to start off with is the sole proprietorship or entrepreneurship. And this is the simplest form of business. This is the easiest way that can be set up. And it is where a single individual owns and operates the business. But there's one key pointer to understand when you are setting up a entrepreneur business here in Serbia is that you are going to be limited to how much income you can make in Serbia. And so many people will make that much up to the threshold that they are required to make and then not earn any more or set it up under a different entity in another country or open up a second business here in Serbia. There's many ways that you can go around with entrepreneurship. Now, with an entrepreneurship business, the tax implications, they can vary, but they are typically around 10%. And the beautiful thing about that is that when you set up your sole proprietorship or entrepreneur business here in Serbia, that you typically get an account that you pay one monthly flat fee, which is about 200 to 250 euros, and that covers your taxes for that month. And then at the end of the year, you will do a final filing where you'll find out if you overpaid or underpaid and how that works out. Now, the next option is going to be your LLC, or what we call here in Serbia is a d.o.o, d.o.o, and that is going to be your corporation. This one is going to have, of course, like any other LLC, substantially more to it. It's an actual living, breathing identity, and it has to be taken care of and maintained. You're going to have a founder that comes in with that. You're going to have a director. You can do a lot more with an LLC. However, you are going to require that, with an LLC that you generate much more profits. Now, with each business, you can and will get certain government breaks. If it's your first year, you might have to only pay 50% of the taxes as if you would if you're in your second or third year. There are a lot of government grants that can be given out to people that are opening up businesses here in Serbia. One of the best things about having an LLC is that you are, apart away from that identity. You are not a legal entity of yourself. You cannot get sued on your personal basis as much as if you had a sole proprietorship. Again, you're going to have insurance. There's going to be much more when it comes to filing. You're going to have to do your quarterly filings. You're going to have to do, pay into some sort of government services as well, especially if you have employees. When it comes to tax implications, there is going to be a 15% corporate tax on your LLC. Again, that's much nicer than what I was paying in Canada, from 20 to 35%. And then it all depends on how you distribute your profits as your own income. So you can actually sign yourself up as an employee of that corporation, or you can do a dividend, which I like a little bit better, because dividends are taxed a little bit differently than they would be if you were to just set up and be on payroll. Now, the third option would be a joint stock company, which is simply a publicly traded company. This is typically structured for larger corporations where you can have people buying shares into your company. So think of Tesla, think of Samsung, think of these larger corporations. Depending on what you're wanting to do, this might be the route for you. The tax implications for that, again, is about 15%, and then 15% on the dividends. But again, it all depends on how you're pulling that money out, what you're looking to do. Some other people look at creating partnerships here in Serbia, where if you never want to mix friends and family with business. However, if you're going into a partnership, this is the best way to do it, is setting up an actual business. That way everybody knows their roles, everybody knows how much they are a part of that company, and both individuals are responsible for their own taxes. And this can be both an entrepreneur, or this can be done as an LLC. Now, one of the other things that you can also do, and the reasons people do set up businesses here in Serbia, is if you are a foreigner that is coming in and has no ties, and you cannot obtain residency here or citizenship through marriage or through descent. Many of our clients and people coming into Serbia set up their or obtain their temporary residency by setting up a business. And especially in this day and age where we have a lot of digital nomads coming into Serbia, running online businesses and wanting to remain in this country here, setting up a company is the best way to do it. So when it comes from the taxation side of Serbia, there are many things that you have to look at. You have your corporate income tax, and the standard rate is 15%, and it applies to all your profits made by that business. Whereas, if you're looking at a entrepreneurship, you're not going to have to do your, quarterly filings with your accountant, which is kind of nice. You pay one standard fee, and then it's all figured out at the end of the year. Then you also have the VAT tax here in Serbia, which is at 20%, with a reduced rate of 10% for certain goods and services. So again, depending on the type of business that you're looking to set up, that can get dropped down to 10%, but that's why we always say it's at 15%, and you have that happy medium between the two. Now, when it comes to personal income tax, the tax rate on personal income here in Serbia is 10%. Which also includes the income of employment and self-employment and dividends. So, which is substantially less than in Canada, where in Canada, the more you make, the more you're taxed. And sometimes it's not even worth working overtime or looking for that raise in your company or in your job, which is kind of beautiful as well. Now, if you are setting up an LLC and you do have employees that are set up under you, you will have social security contributions that you'll need to pay as well. Typically, they range about 37% for your business and the employee, that 37% is going to be split between the employer and the employees. So the employer would pay half and the employee would pay half. And then there's a withholding tax that is taxed on certain payments of non-residents. So depending on, again, how you're setting it up, how you're coming into Serbia, this is a couple different ways that you can do it. Setting up a LLC will take, not very long, maybe a week or two at most. Entrepreneur business can be set up in a couple days. All depends on what kind of business you're looking to structure, and these are one of the things that we've helped many of our clients to do here in Serbia. We are a one-stop shop, able to get you to set up your business, get all the paperwork signed, and one of the questions that we get by many people that are looking to come into Serbia is if we can start this process with you being outside of Serbia. We cannot start that business without you being in Serbia, simply because you need to be here to sign paperwork. You need to be here to go and get certain paperwork, file certain paperwork. And so the best way for you to come in here, and many of our clients do this, is come in here on a tourist visa and have that set up. And if that's one of your plans to do, you can feel free to contact us, say, hey, listen, we're coming to Serbia so-and-so dates. We're looking to set up so-and-so company, and we can see what is the fees are going to be associated with that, what kind of taxes you're going to have to set up. We can get you an account set up as well, so that once you come in here, all you have to do is set up sign the paperwork, and off to the races you go. If you have any other questions when it comes to setting up a business, running a business here in Serbia, feel free to reach out to me at relocationserbia.com. Our team of professional accountants, lawyers, real estate professionals are here to help you navigate your way here in Serbia and make it as seamless as possible so that you can move on with your life, move on with your business, and live the best life that you possibly can. If you wish for us to make any content on certain types of business avenues or certain videos on specific topics, feel free to mention that in the comment section below in this video, and I'll be happy to read those comments and see about doing a video in the near future. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.